She was barely more than a shadow, thin, weak, and trembling on her feet, and next to her, pressed tightly against her side, was a tiny puppy, shivering from the cold. When I first saw Luana and her little girl, Lilli, my heart broke. There was no fear or anger in their eyes, only exhaustion and quiet surrender, as if they had long stopped believing that help would ever come. One of our volunteers found them lying by the roadside, surrounded by dust and trash, a mother and her baby, filthy, starved, with ribs showing through their skin. It was clear they hadn't eaten for days, maybe even weeks. Luana was surviving on sheer willpower just to keep her puppy alive. When she arrived at the shelter, she didn't resist or bark. She simply lay down and closed her eyes, as if saying, "Do whatever you need. I'm too tired." But the moment little Lilli crawled up to her, something changed. Luana gently covered her with her body and began licking her tiny face. Right then I realized she'd been fighting for her baby all along. We started treatment immediately: blood work, fluids, food, vitamins. At first, both were so weak they barely moved, but each day their eyes grew brighter. Lilli especially. She began exploring, wagging her little tail, and after a couple of weeks, I heard her soft, uncertain bark. It was the sound of life returning. They quickly became the favorites of everyone at the shelter. Each volunteer found time to check on them, bring a treat, or just sit quietly nearby. Lilli loved people, and Luana slowly began to trust again. It was touching to see her protect other dogs too, as if she now understood she wasn't just a mother, but part of a family. It finally seemed like their nightmare was behind them. But one morning, Lilli refused to eat. Her temperature spiked. Tests confirmed the worst: parvovirus. We fought for her with everything we had: intravenous fluids, medications, sleepless nights, hands constantly stroking her fur. But the virus won. When she was gone, Luana stayed beside the empty spot where her daughter used to sleep. She didn't cry loudly, just a quiet, heartbreaking sound that made everyone around her cry too. She stopped eating, wouldn't go outside, and spent her days lying with her nose pressed into the blanket that still smelled like Lilli. We didn't push her, we just stayed close, sitting quietly, petting her, reminding her that she wasn't alone. After a couple of weeks, Luana began to heal. First, she stepped outside into the yard again. Then she started watching the other dogs play. One day, an old boy named Remy came up to her and gently licked her cheek. That moment changed everything. Luana began to play again. She let others near her, and for the first time in months, I saw her wag her tail.
I love it.
Now Luana smiles again. She lives at the clinic, surrounded by love and care. Every morning she greets us at the door, tail wagging, waiting for her ear scratches. Sometimes she lies in the grass, quietly watching the horizon, maybe remembering Lilli, but without sadness, just warmth. And I think maybe that's why she didn't give up back then. She was holding on for this moment, the moment she could live, love, and remember her little girl with peace in her heart. If you enjoyed this story about Luana, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to see more touching and inspiring stories.